Hello and welcome you in the course of Probability and Statistics. I am your instructor Hardik Josu. Now in this lecture we have to see what is random variable. Also we have to see there are how many types of random variable. So first of all we have to see the basic definition of random variable. Up to this stage we have to see what is random experiment. Right now we have to move on random variable. Suppose that to each point of a sample space we assign a particular number. That is, we know that what is the sample space. If we have to perform any of the random experiment, then whatever possible outcomes, that all possible outcome is a member of that sample space. So the sample space capital S, if we have to talk about tossing of coin, is tail and head. That is capital S is equal to T comma H if we have to talk about tossing of coin. But when we have to assign some particular fixed number to each and every member of a sample space, then is known as the random variable. That is, we have to assign some particular number of tail. That is, what is the probability of tail, what is the probability of head, then is known as the random variable. Same thing, we have to write down here. We then have a function, that is, we have to define some particular function to assign that particular number. So a function defined on the sample space is known as the random variable. Now sometimes this function is also called random variable. If we have to deal with the real life data, statistical data, then this random variable is also known as stochastic variable. Is also known as the function, that is random function, stochastic function. And in well-known fact, this random variable is denoted by, say, capital letter, say capital X, capital Y, capital Z. Most probably the capital X and capital Y is used to denote the random variable, but you may be used any of the else. So in general, a random variable has some specified physical, geometrical or other significance, importance of that particular experiment. So let's further move. There are how many types of random variables? So basically there are two types of random variable. The first one is the discrete and the second one is the continuous random variable. So first of all we have to see the first type, that is discrete random variable. So the first question arises, how we can distinguish the random variable is discrete or continuous. So it depends on the size of the sample space. Which type of random experiment you have to perform. So precisely we have to see that a random variable that takes on a finite or countably infinite number of value. Yeah, in the simplified manner, we have to say that if the size of the sample space is finite, then we have to say that is a discrete random variable. Whereas the size of the sample space is not finite, yeah, is countably infinite, then we have to say that is a continuous random variable. See the particular example, then you have to easily understand the difference among this discrete and continuous random variable. So if we have to find out the probability of children in particular family, so definitely if we have to talk about say number of children in particular family, so definitely it may be 2, 3, 4. If we have to talk about say large family, so say couples, that is 2 and 4, yeah, maximum 5 children, so still is a finite 5, yeah, up to 10. So these are the very basic example to distinguish the difference between discrete and continuous random variable. The second one, that is number of cars sold by any particular company. So if we are interested to find out some precise number of sold car of any of the company, so if we have to fix our targets, if we have to find out the number of car sold by any particular say Suzuki company on a particular day, in a particular week, in a particular month, or in a particular month, in a particular year, but still is some finite number, that is the number is finite, that's this example, number of cars sold by any Suzuki company, it's an example of discrete random variable. Let's see one more example. Say profit made by an investor in a particular day. So if we have to talk about the stock market, and say definitely investor say invest his money to get a profit. So definitely the profit is some finite quantity in that particular day. So again this example is including discrete random variable. The second category, that is continuous random variable. So the basic, we have to consider the simple concept of basic algebra in mathematics. Say number in the interval 0 to 1. How many number is there in the particular integer 0 and 1? So we know that 0.1 is in between 0 and 1, 0.2 is in between 0 and 1, 0.5 is in between 0 and 1. But if we have to talk about say 0.01, so is again lies or exit in 0, 1, 0. Say 401, 0.5 times 0 and 1. So you maybe realize how many number is exist or lying within this particular interval 0 and 1. So we know that the number is countable. So when what is countable? More precisely, we have to get a deeper knowledge when we have to study the discrete mathematics. But you maybe realize there are say infinite number exists between this particular interval 0 and 1. That's why this example is lists in the category of continuous random variable. Second one, the life of an electric bulb, if we have to measure in hour. So if in any of the farm, any of the electric bulb, so we have to measure what is the life of that bulb in hour. So definitely the life of that bulb is in maybe in few months, few years. So we cannot find out or categorize in this particular finite number. We cannot assign some fixed finite number. So again, these are the example of continuous random variable. So let's start the first type, discrete probability distribution. Yeah, sometimes is known as the probability mass function. Now the abbreviation PMF is correspond to probability mass function. So the basic property of probability mass function is nothing but is just satisfy the two conditions. The probability of each and individual xi is greater or equal to 0. Now don't consider this two is a typo error. Now the second property, when we have to combine the probability of each and every sub events, that is sum of probability of xi, then is a probability of sample space. And we know that the probability of sample space is always 1. So same thing is we have to write down here. The probability mass function is also known as probability function. Yeah, is also known as the frequency function and is characterized by the distribution of discrete random variable. So capital X is a discrete random variable of the function x. Now is also denoted by probability of x is equal to x, where this capital X is corresponding to random variable. Now is also written as probability of x is equal to x, where every small x is coming from capital X, and it must satisfy these two conditions. So let's see the first example. Let capital X be a random variable. We are interested to find out the probability of x is equal to x is a probability mass function given by. Now this table shows the probability mass function corresponding to this random variable. We are interested to find out the value of unknown, this small k. Also we are interested to find out the probability of x when it's less than or equal to 6, and the second one, find out the probability of random variable x when is lying between 3 to 6. So to deal with this example, we have to use the basic definition of probability mass function. We know that the probability, when we have to sum up all these particular sub events, then it's lead 1. So sum of probability of xi is 1. So here there are total 8 sub events. When the probability of x, that is random experiment x, is 0, its probability is 0. Probability of x is equal to 1 is k. So on, probability of 7 is 7k square plus k. So we have to use this second condition. So probability of x equal to 0 is 0. Probability of x equal to 1 is k. So we have to add up 0 plus k plus 2k and so on, 7k square plus k. So simple addition leads the quadratic polynomial. 10k square plus 9k minus 1 equal to 0. So use the simple concept of factorization. So it leads 10k minus 1 into k plus 1 equal to 0. So a into b is 0. So it leads a equal to 0, b equal to 0. That is 10k minus 1 is 0. That is k is 1 by 10. That is 0.1. K plus 1 is 0. That is k equal to minus 1. But we know that the first condition of probability of mass function, probability of any of the individual sub event is always greater equal to 0. Always greater equal to 0. So negative is not possible. And here we have to get k equal to minus 1. So it's not possible, because the probability is always within 0 and 1. So we have to drop k equal to minus 1. So finally we have to consider k is 1 by 10, that is 0.1. So we have to obtain the value of unknown, k is 0.1. Let's move on the second one. We are interested to find out the probability of x less than equal to 6. So probability of x less than equal to 6. So we know that probability of happening of any of the random experiments is 1. That is size of sample space. So 1 minus probability of x greater than 6. So 1 minus probability of x greater than 6. So it just includes probability of x equal to 7. And probability of x equal to 7 is 7k square plus k. But we have to obtain the value of k is 0.1. So just plug in the value of k is 0.1, that is 1 by 10 square, 1 by 10. Simplification leads 83 divided by 100, that is 0.83. So probability of happening of random experiment x is 6, yeah, less than 6 is 0.83. Let's move on the second option. So probability of x lying between 3 and 6, that is its equivalent probability of x equal to 4. See carefully, 3 is not included. So we have to exclude the probability of x equal to 3. So probability of x equal to 4 plus probability of x equal to 5, and the right hand point is included within the interval. So that's why we have to include probability of x equal to 6. So we have to take a help of the table. Probability of x equal to 4 is 3k. Probability of x equal to 5 is k square. Probability of x equal to 6 is 2k square. Plug in the value of k, 1 by 10, that is 3 by 10 plus 1 by 10 square plus 2 into 1 by 10 whole square. So the simplification leads 33 divided by 100, that is 0.33. That is the probability of the random experiment x when is fall within the interval 3 to 6, its probability is 0.33. Let's see the second example. State with the reason whether the following represent the probability mass function of a random variable. Now, this table shows the probability mass function, and our job is we have to identify whether this probability mass function represents the random variable or not. So, we know that the first condition of the probability mass function, the probability of each and every random experiment is greater or equal to 0. The falls within the interval 0 and 1. So see, probability of x equal to 0 is 0.4. So definitely is fall within the range of 0 and 1. Probability of x equal to 1 is 0.3. So again is fall in the interval 0 and 1. Similarly, probability of 2 and 3 is lying in the range 0 and 1. So first condition is satisfied. Let's check the second condition. Probability of x when we have to sum up, that is 0.4 corresponding to x equal to 0, probability of x equal to 1 is 0.3, so on, probability of x equal to 3 is 0.1. But when we have to add up 0.4 plus 0.3 plus 0.2 plus 0.1, then it leads 1. And we know that the second condition, the sum of each and every individual xi is 1. So again second condition is true. So both the condition of probability mass function is true. So we have to conclude that the table which shows the probability mass function is definitely true. So same thing, probability of x is a probability mass function. Yeah, in another words, we have to say that the random experiment x whose probability is given in the table, it shows the probability mass function. So thank you so much for paying your attention.